Hello everybody and welcome to Lawrie's Mechanical Marvels. In this episode we're going to be answering that age-old question of what could possibly be better than the MR2. Well, it turns out the answer is quite simple. It is in fact two MR2s. Yes, that's right, I've acquired another one. And to do this I need my friend
who has a very particular set of skills, which today I'm going to need.
One particular set of skills later, we're moving.
So off we went on an adventure over water, through the deepest, darkest forests, down some country roads, and eventually into a city. My God, look at all the bits. There's so many bits here. This is unreal. Is that an engine? Cool. We secured my new acquisition, put it on the trailer, and then we turned around and headed home.
And so it's now here. We made it safely back to the shed, and I've got two of the things. However, all I can really tell you about my new MR2 is that it is indeed an MR2, and it's red. So to help explain what it is I've actually managed to acquire, we've got my resident MR2 expert.
Right, so this is a JDM, or Japanese Domestic Market, Rev 2 Turbo, so damn sight more powerful than mine and Lawrie's cars. And that works too, apparently.
My one doesn't have that. Is that a JDM thing, or is that just what they're meant to have?
I have no idea. I think mine's supposed to have it as well, but doesn't, so.
So does that mean mine's broken?
The as are probably broken.
Right, fine, cool.
This one's not. This one's yours.
Oh yeah, I have one car that does have something that works.
Some other bits which don't appear to work, or are missing, as you might be able to tell here.
There is a very notable absence of a windscreen.
Yes, so the previous owner took it out to do some rust repair along the edge here, but hasn't gone back in yet, unfortunately.
No, it needs painting and the job just finishing off. One side looks very good and finished, other side a bit rougher. The other thing that the old owner has done, they've done the sills, and a lot of the rot underneath is actually, it's really good, and the sills are all good. There's a lot of good on this car.
Yeah, it's actually had all the rust dealt with, which is obviously the biggest battle with MR2s in this country is we salt our roads, they rust. Over in Japan, obviously not so much of an issue.
Well, it's not MR2s, is it? It's Japanese cars.
It's all old cars at this point.
Particularly Japanese cars, like the Celica has holes in it. So what does this do? What's special about this? What is it?
Well, it's turbocharged, so instead of the 3S GE naturally aspirated engine, which we got over here, it's the 3S GTE, which means they just whacked a big old turbocharger on the side and called it a day.
And what does that mean it does?
It means it makes a lot more noise, and about 248 brake horsepower as opposed to ours.
That's a lot. And then this one's had stuff done to it, hasn't it? This one's been decatted.
Yeah, so it was dynoed at 248, and then the previous owner removed the catalytic converter and upgraded the turbocharger, and now is pushing out around about 280, they reckon, but it's not been dynoed since.
Somewhere between 280 and 270, somewhere between that is what they reckon it will do. We don't know. When it's fixed, we'll take it and get it dynoed and work out what it does.
And it definitely makes more noise now at the very least.
Oh, it sounds really good. There are some other little changes between my old one and this one, although technically this is newer than that one, right? That's a Rev 2.
Yeah, so that's a Rev 3 with a Rev 2 taillight swap, and this is a Rev 2 with a Rev 3 taillight swap.
I don't actually like the Rev 3 taillights, which is why I took them off this one. And I mean, if they're nice, they look proper smart, but these ones, they're scabby.
They're a little bit submerged as well. Someone's put too much blinker fluid in them.
They also got that tinge of green of something that's had stuff living in them.
The blinker fluid has been growing in them. Yeah.
So that's where you get it from. You have to grow it in the lights.
Yeah,
I always wondered where you got blinker fluid from.
And it gets transferred into other lights. That's where it comes from.
Oh, it makes so much sense. So other differences between the two cars are this one doesn't have fog lights because they don't need them?
No, they don't need them. I think they came with them anyway, and these have actually been deleted by the previous owner in Japan. It looks good from a distance, but if you get up close, they're a little bit floppy. They're not very good.
The distance that you guys are away from us, fine. a distance we are when you walk around the front, and they're not so good, are they?
No, you can see the cable ties holding them on.
It's not good. Then there's a couple other differences with the indicators on the front. This one has these kind of bulges on them, whereas mine's got just panels here, and then I've got mine here, whereas that one's just got blanked off panels, which again is...
Yeah, so in Japan those reflectors are actually mandatory, but they didn't want to mould new bumpers for the Japanese market, so Japanese owners could blank theirs out over there. We also have the indicator is up front as opposed to down here where it is on UK cars.
Oh yeah, mine's there, isn't it? Whereas yours is... Well,
there as well, yeah.
And that isn't. That's weird. It's amazing how many little subtle differences you have on something that's basically the same car.
Yeah, I believe it's because of just mandatory laws, like I think EU law, your indicator has to be behind the rear wheel for the side, and for Japanese laws it can be in front.
Is that really a thing?
It's something like that. It's some weird nonsense where different for different markets.
That's weird. So other things this has got which are quite nice are it's got these gorgeous wheels on it, which are Momo something.
Momo Arrows, yeah. They are very nice. They do suit the car quite nicely.
I really, really like them.
Yeah.
I really like them.
Apart from that, the suspension has yellow Bilstein shocks all around, and not that much else. It's mostly been tasteful small modifications, like you've got the obvious addition of like boost gauges, turbo timers inside, and little bits and pieces here and there. But it has been kept, like, it's been properly modified, not ruined at all.
Which is nice, because quite often you find MR2s that have been modified have been turned, what's the term, riced?
Riced, yes.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not cool down with this kind of stuff. But this seems to be quite tasteful and done to make the car actually better rather than make it...
Ricier.
Ricier. Ricier is a good term of words for this.
Yes. So yeah, I think it's going to be a fantastic car once we've got it up and running.
I can't believe I managed to grow it. I basically was given this car. I paid a very, very little sum of money to acquire it.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, Matt is very jealous about this car.
And to be honest, outside of the bits where it needs repainting around the windscreen and on the sills, it's in fact in very good nick, the paint on it as well. It's not faded at all, which is obviously my battle with my red car personally.
It looks like a lot of it just needs a hard polish.
Yes, it really does. It does need a little bit of TLC, but that's all this car really needs is the interior putting back together, new windscreen, and...
I mean, the lack of a windscreen makes it look like a big project, but as all of my cars go, this is actually probably one of the easier projects.
I think outside of the Peugeot, this is potentially the easiest project. There's literally nothing which needs doing. I mean, you can pay someone 100 quid to come out and fit you a windscreen.
Which is probably what we'll do. So we need to get the windscreen finished off,
Yep.
some paint on it so it's all red,
Yep.
give it a service because it could do with a service.
Yep. And that's pretty much it. Don't actually know if it's been undersealed. It might be worth getting it up on some ramps to have a quick look and just make sure we keep it as good as it can be down there. But yeah, it's going to be a fantastic little car.
What this also came with, as you saw in the previous picking up section, is this came with a whole host of spare bits. Like so many spare bits, it's unreal. Matt's already pinched some of them.
Quite a lot of them, yeah.
And we have basically all the things we think to finish the interior because the interior is lacking.
Yeah, and the boot actually when this one came was also full of interior bits.
Yep,
So.
the front, the interior and the boot were all full of interior. What happened was the owner of this had another MR2. Someone had an MR2 which died and just got kind of left in her storage area. And so when we took this away, we took all the bits that were left off this other MR2. So we basically have another MR2 in bits, enough to sort almost any other MR2 minus my banana shaped one.
Yeah, you need more than bits to sort that.
That's gone, isn't it?
But we do have like an entire spare engine.
A gearbox.
Yep, suspension all around. Every
Brakes,
single cross member.
steering wheel.
Steering wheel, yeah. You don't have the under tray anymore because I've got that.
Yeah, that's all gone.
And you don't actually have half of the brakes
No,
because I
you've
did
got
steal
them
those as well.
yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
And the rear cross member also still.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and like
That's a
several boxes of just bits,
Yeah.
like electric bits. Like
Yeah,
it's
spare bits of loom and stuff, which can be sort of a nightmare to fix by yourself. So.
lights. We've got lights as well.
Yeah.
There's
Seats.
seats. We've got spare seats. I mean,
Spare T-top. Oh no, that came from your car, didn't it?
yeah, the spare T-top is mine.
That's just been added to the pile of things.
There is now round. You might have seen it in a couple of shots around the back in the shed. There is just boxes and piles of MR2 bits now that we're like, well, this is all very useful.
And if you are interested as well, there is a lovely set of NK wheels which came with this, with really good tyres on them as well.
Yes, they're really nice, and I've got no use for them because I quite like the standard wheels on this that are black. When this gets painted, I'm going to get the wheels redone into a nice shiny black or maybe a matte black. I haven't really decided, but I like the black. I like the standard wheels, and I really like these wheels with this, and I would like those with the red one.
Yeah,
but I don't think they'd suit it in blue.
No, I kind of get you on that.
I'm quite, so they're available and the seats are available. So if anyone want MR2 bits, we have MR2 bits.
We need money to fix MR2s, so we're willing to sell MR2 bits.
It's not just MR2s we need money to fix.
No. Right, should we take a look around it?
Yeah, I think so. So notable things from the front end is this has been debadged. Unlike my MR2, which is currently missing its badge.
Because it falls off.
Because, yeah, it falls off. We took it off so we don't lose it in the way that I lost my Lotus badge. This one has been actually professionally done. You can still see the 2 holes when you look close.
Yeah, I would actually say it's probably not professional. It does look like it's been filleted and painted over, but
it's been a proper attempt, isn't it?
If you get it at this angle, you can clearly see the different colour of paint around
you can see the different colour in paint when I'm standing here. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a bit shoddy, but it can all be fixed.
It's been debadged. I don't understand debadging cars, but now it's gone. I've got no kind of desire to put the badge back because the SW20 never had its own kind of badge.
It never had the eagle badge of like the AW11 or anything. It was always just a normal Toyota. So it'd almost be nice to put an eagle back on it.
I kind of feel that, yeah. Then the front lip on this is different as well, isn't it? It's different to mine.
Yeah, I think it's only because it's broken on both of our cars, but it is actually the same standard lip. But if you see here, this is the...
oh yeah, the cable-tied horrible bit.
Yeah, that's not fantastic.
I'm also missing the grates, aren't I, behind that?
Yeah, so normally there's like a grille behind, stones coming up and hitting your radiator.
Which is probably why my one's got a leak.
Yes.
Because my one's missing it as well.
This one will shortly develop one if we don't install that.
But things that do work, if you stay at the front...
The important bits.
Oh, I love pop-up headlights. I love pop-up headlights. But there's no fogs.
No.
So I can't turn those on. Let's have a look.
There's some other little bits which do need work as well. In much the same way as all MR2s, the front brake calipers are actually a little bit of a problem child. It's part of the reason I stole them for my MR2.
Oh,
so I
really?
want to refurbish them, and I believe the previous owner said they are binding just a little bit.
I found the windscreen wipers.
Oh, that's where they live.
That's probably not where windscreen wipers are meant to live.
Well, they're close to their original point of location.
What is this?
Automatic transmission fluid.
This isn't automatic.
No, it's not, is it?
Like,
We've got our lovely JDM writing in here.
oh yeah, check this. This probably shows it is Japanese because I don't understand any of that.
Yeah, so this actually came with the original Japanese manuals as well, which are absolutely fantastic, and we need to get scanned in.
Oh, well done, Jeffrey. I'm glad you.
Yeah, that's your power steering fluid up there.
Jeffrey can read Japanese apparently. Apart from that, there's no rot in that. That all looks clean. The front cover isn't broken.
Yep.
This is good. The front bit here is held on with cable ties.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because this is missing, so it's not all together, right?
Yeah, so I think it needs the windscreening to be able to support this, and it all needs fitting properly. It's just going to be a little bit of a chore to get it all together again.
And this is the rougher bit here, isn't it? Whereas that side's a little bit better, whereas that is quite...
Yeah. But again, that's going to have windscreen rubber over it anyway, so you're not going to notice that. The other bit you can see down here, if we look down low...
And we go low, low, low.
Obviously, we've got the lovely twin cam 16 turbo logo.
I really like, because that just makes it a little bit more special, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think that, you look at that and just like, you can just be there and take it to a show and be like, ta-da.
It shows everyone what you've got.
What's your car? Ta-da. I also like the strip, because on mine and yours, the strip's the same colour, isn't it?
Yes.
Whereas having the little...
No, mine's actually off colour as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm looking at yours over there, it looks the same, whereas that definitely is different.
Yeah, but you can see where it's had the rust repair at the bottom of the door here and along the sills. It's saying in that same vomit yellow.
But I'm quite happy, because the vomit yellow is basically the undercoat, right? Like on the Sleeker, that's a yellow underneath the red.
Yeah, so a lot of yellow cars, a lot of red cars, they will undercoat yellow just because it matches up with the paint better when they paint over the top.
It's had the radio antenna deleted. There was a little bung in here until Jeffrey came along and went, oh, what's this? So there's no longer a bung in there because it's somewhere inside here.
Should we have a look at the beating heart?
Yes, let's open up.
If I can find it.
Come on, you own one of these. You should be able to find this.
Oh, I don't normally do it from outside the car.
Oh, also it's missing the trim. There we go.
Yeah, there's no trim on that interior bit there.
Look at that. So big thing we are missing is the turbo tray, which stops water dribbling in.
Yep.
So I need to acquire one of those because that's one of the few things I don't actually own.
Yeah, and I think because the other car was a naturally aspirated one, that never had that as a spare.
We've got an additional brace here.
Yep.
Because that looks very not standard.
Yeah, that's aftermarket. That one is standard there, though.
This looks different to my engine.
Yeah, so this is the later model. So you've got the... no, this is the earlier model, sorry. So you've got the oil filler up here.
Oh, right.
Which is where it is on my car.
And mine.
No, yours is your oil, not filler, filter.
Oh, a filter. Oh, I remember because we had to do it. It's down by the wheel.
Yeah, so your oil filter's up there, and in the earlier cars, Rev 1 and Rev 2, so mine and this one, it's up here in a sensible location.
Yeah, because it's stupid where it is there.
Yeah.
I like that. I like the badge on that as well.
Yeah, it also probably looks different to your engine bay because ours has the large intake manifold coming across here.
Yeah.
Feeding air in from that side, whereas this obviously has the turbocharger and the intercooler down here. So we've got one big pipe instead of the 4 small ones.
I'm so excited by this car.
It's very nice. And I believe this is actually an aftermarket blow-off valve as well on that.
Yes, I think that was changed as well. Is there anything in the boot?
I believe there's just more bits in the boot, to be brutally honest. So let's not dig in there.
It's got, the thing that I am confused about is this weird lock that it has on the back, which doesn't look...
No, so this is actually a blanking plate you can get from MR2 Ben, but you can't change that original lock when you do a rear tail light swap.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it kind of just sits there awkwardly off centre.
It also looks too big for my key. It looks like there doesn't seem to be a lock in there. It's just a big hole.
Yeah. And to be fair, you could actually coat over that as well because there's not actually any real reason you can unlock it from inside the car.
I don't know if I'm going to keep these lights on it. They look nice when they're tidied up. The other thing it does have, it's right down low, down very low, like in between the exhausts, is the reversing light because it doesn't have one originally. So that's weird.
That made it UK legal by hiding it under there, which doesn't seem very good.
It does have one, and if you are on the ground, you will see the car reversing towards you.
Exactly, yeah. So if you're lay down behind the car, you're safe.
Yes, precisely. The rest of the time, it's useless.
Depends how fast it's reversing.
It's also got this kind of slightly different number plate because it's an import.
Yep. So it's got the square plate instead of the...
And slightly different number because it's K47 rather than K147. Because normally your plates have got 3 numbers, don't they? Or the old style plates.
To be honest, they can have 2 numbers as well, but the only real difference physically is that the bumper is it's a square cutout as opposed to a rectangle.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yes. I hadn't really... That's cool. This is a cool car. So the interior. Well...
Let's take that off.
So, we're missing several bits presently from being inside. There's nothing up here. There's nothing behind the seats. Matt, can you pull the thing so the seat goes forward?
Oh, not from this position, I can't.
Toing! So, on
got
the
the
wall,
Toyota jack back there.
The wall there, the trim's all missing, so the speaker's exposed, the buttons are exposed. The Toyota jack's there. Quite a nifty steering wheel.
I love the Momo steering wheel.
That's quite nice.
I'm not a big fan of the shift knob.
I quite like the shift knob. I know that we'll be at odds over that.
Hold on a minute. What have I...
Oh, it's a tape player.
Oh, I need the keys again now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a good noise.
Turn the ignition on. See if the tape player works.
You've got the keys over there.
Oh, God.
Oh, turning the ignition on. This may or may not function.
Yeah, the ignition is It's a wiggle, isn't it? Oh, come across and wiggle it for me.
It was working fine earlier, I promise.
Let me wiggle that for you. So we've established the key is a little bit. There we go. Power on. Oh, that's a bad noise.
Oh,
hey, the speakers work. That's fine.
all right.
Turn it off. That's fine. That sounds awful. Now, I like the tape player, but the tape player is obviously knackered.
it may need modernisation.
Does this have air? This does aircon. It's got AC.
Yeah, you see, I did notice the AC controller up the front there. I don't know if it's been deleted on this car, but it does mean that you've got an extra control box at the front, which is still there.
That's cool. My other one obviously doesn't have it because it's got a roof on it. Does this?
It's a lot more common on Japanese cars to have AC.
That's a bit. That's the other cool thing on this. I think little things like we have the little bit of Japanese on the fog light there, which I really like, and a coin holder because that's useful.
And if we go down here,
That's where I was coming to next.
got a turbo timer and a boost gauge.
And
Not in the most practical of positions, but
no, totally useless in fact. But also sometimes when we turn the car off, it doesn't turn off. We set the turbos up. MR2s are all set up now, and then we can get on with the rest of the stuff we need to film for today. Didn't you turn it off?
something's not quite right.
What? There's not a spare key for this. That is the key.
No, yeah, I pulled that out of the lock.
You pulled that.
I don't know how. But it wants to run. There's literally no key in this.
So we have to press that thing to turn the engine.
Yeah, so normally a turbo timer will just keep oil and water pumping around to keep your turbo nice and cool and make sure it doesn't die from heat shock. But this just keeps the whole engine running just at random intervals.
And we left the thing running for some time to kind of work out if it would eventually turn the car off. It doesn't seem to.
No, we left it for a good 20 minutes and burnt most of the petrol in it.
We are very low on petrol. I'm so excited to take this out for it. I wonder what else we got in this car. What on earth is that?
That looks like a T-top bag.
No, it's too small.
No, it's way too small.
I don't know what that is. Nothing in there. Well, that's disappointing. Oh, the sub's missing from behind my seat, though. I'm missing the subwoofer. Because there should be a little subwoofer down there, shouldn't there?
Yeah.
And that's not there. Oh, well.
Weight saving. Yeah, this is actually the tin top version as well, which is the by far the lightest of the cars.
What's that?
That's your door switch, so you can detect whether it's open or closed.
Oh, that's different. My ones are mine are push switches. That's cool. It's actually quite tidy, isn't it? Oh, I found the number plate for the front.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. We do have a front number plate. We are legal.
I would honestly go back to a square plate for it, though. It's what it's supposed to have.
I think a sticker. I don't like moulded ones. I think just a sticker across there might be... Oh. So this is in remarkably good nick. Needs minimal work to it, of which Matt's going to put the interior back in. Matt's volunteered to put the interior back in on his own free will. And it needs a service. And then windscreens are optional, right, for MOTs? I mean, there's no cracks in it, so it can't fail on that.
They can't fail on cracks, yeah, that's a good point.
But this isn't actually that far from going back on the road.
It might even be ready this summer.
I hope to have it ready this summer. And then I suppose the most logical thing to do with a turbo is take it on track.
Yeah.
And see just how fast it will go.
Maybe not with you driving. We've seen you driving a turbo around Spa.
That was bad.
That was very bad. And most of our tracks don't have quite as much generous runoff as Spa has as well.
I'm genuinely terrified by this car. Like that, my MR2, fast enough, decent. This, it's a totally different beast, right?
Yeah.
There's so much more power there before you start being an idiot. It's definitely a car that needs to be respected rather than a
hooned.
Yeah, if you hoon this, you'll die.
Yeah,
I think
it's very much of the era where the MR2s are really famous for snap oversteer. It's not really that much of an issue in a naturally aspirated car, but when you add another 120 brake horsepower more than we have on top of it, it's going to start biting.
I think it's 0 to 60 is sub 6 seconds, yeah?
Yes, I believe so.
I'm going to die. This is a really cool car, and a massive thank you to the previous owner for seeing me with my MR2 and thinking maybe I'd like another one, and that maybe I'd appreciate something like this. I can say that yes, all three of us are really going to have a lot of fun in this car, and we just want to get it finished now, really.
Yeah.
So what we've got lined up here is my Turbo 2, Franken 2, and Matt's MR2, which has some glorious, really nice wheels on it.
Yeah, that's about the only thing which is, but I'll give you that much.
What are they?
They're OZ Chronos, I believe.
They look really cool. I'm genuinely jealous of them. They just make the car pop a bit more.
Yeah.
And so what's lined up here, we have the 3 different roof variations of the SW20, which is the hard top or tin top.
Yeah, tin top, then we've got Targa top, and then we've got the moon roof.
Not a sunroof.
No, it's a moon roof because it can, it's clear glass. A sunroof is like a solid panel of metal, like on a Celica. That's a sunroof.
So the 106 has got a moon roof?
Yeah, it's a moon roof because it's clear.
I never knew this was a thing.
Yep. It's such a small and pointless distinction.
Does the roof pop out on yours?
Yes, you can completely remove the roof. In fact, I had to. I've got new side skirts to go on it at some point, and I couldn't actually carry them in any other way, so the roof had to be removed. Just to pull as well.
That's great. So I can do the same with mine. I can put big things in that.
Unfortunately, not so with a tin top, but it is the quickest, so we'll give it that.
But I can carry long stuff in that because there's no windscreen.
Oh yeah, you can carry really long stuff in this now.
Now, the coolest one is obviously the Targa top. The T-top is the coolest version by a long way.
I'd go with the tin top personally. It's got so much more presence.
When we took this out, this was the coolest thing ever. You and me driving this with the roof down on a nice hot day.
Yeah, but my hair was going everywhere.
So was mine, but it was awesome. Now, that's the rarest, right?
Yeah, so the tin top is actually a little bit unusual because it was either found in the absolute base poverty spec model, which had the 5 SFE motor instead, it's essentially an awful Camry lump. And it was also found in the raciest version, which was the turbo, because obviously it was by far the lightest.
But it makes sense, and presumably the strongest as well?
Yeah, so it's got the most stiffness in it still, whereas obviously the T-top has a bunch of extra reinforcement.
Yeah, that's not. This is the T-top is definitely a cruising roadster.
That's the cruising one, yeah.
So that's the go fast, race-oriented, sporty one.
Yeah.
This is the cruising one. What's your one?
The one for UK people who couldn't afford the other ones. That's basically it. It's by far the most common is the sunroof model.
Yes, it is. I always wanted the T-top when I wanted an MR2. It was the T-top I wanted, and I went and got a T-top. And we don't know if mine leaks because T-tops are famous for leaking, and we haven't had this out in the rain long enough.
Well, fortunately, you do get the chance to dry store it, so it's not exactly like it's going to be wet every time you get in started.
My old one was waterproof until I drove it through a storm once, having boasted to a lot of people that it was a good T-top and it didn't leak. And I was driving going, oh, it's really coming down. Drip. Oh, drip. Oh, it is coming. Oh, drip. Drip.
They've got a finite capacity before it's just too much, and then they're gone.
Yeah, and it was like, oh. Now, for us as MR2 enthusiasts, this is a lovely, lovely sight.
I just wish we had an AW11. That's the one thing I want to add to this.
The AW11, the previous MR2, it's never done it. I saw one the other day, actually. And it'd been lowered slightly. I think it got a buddy kit on it, making it a bit wider. Mm-hmm. I was like, I get it.
Yeah, I would love an AW11. It will hopefully be a classic project for me in the future. But unfortunately, obviously the MR2 SW20, it's rock bottom in terms of prices unless you're getting a turbo. But the AW11, it's just crept up, and for a good one now, you're looking at £4,000 or £5,000. And I kid you not, I was looking about a year and a half ago, and they were about 1,000.
Yeah,
they've shot up.
It's scary, isn't it? So we obviously spend a lot of time on eBay looking at projects and things we'd like to buy.
Too much.
And the price of cars, cars that we kind of like, that even a couple of years ago, we're like, I could afford one of these, has suddenly dropped up to be something that's now, it's not project money anymore.
Yeah, even for things like SW20 MR2s, I mean, like, we're famous for buying cheap MR2s. Mine was 700, your first one was 600.
This one's 300, and that one's cheaper than your one.
Yeah, this one's cheaper than my one as well. Yes, this was cheaper. It's not fair.
That should not be that cheap, because that is definitely the better out of the two.
But even so, like, to actually find a good, fairly rust-free example now, you're not looking at £700 anymore. You're looking at a grand and a half. And
come on, and more. That you look for a good clean MR2, they're like 6, 7, 8 grand.
Yeah, I think they're only going to go up from here because
people keep putting them into bushes.
Yeah, well, that's one reason. And the other reason, people are just starting to appreciate them. They look at these cars and they go, that's actually a stunning car, especially for what it costs.
The other reason is that the bad examples are very bad and not necessarily salvageable, and the good examples are now very good. You've got that. I think cars do that, don't they? You get to a stage that the bad examples are very bad,
yeah,
and the good examples are very good. Like 10 years ago, you would find a lot of mediocre MR2s.
Middling ones, yeah.
But they've either been fixed up now,
or been scrapped,
or they're here.
Yeah. We have the last 3 middling MR2s, and they're only middling because we made them middling.
This one I bought up to make middling. This one's a lot better.
That did not start out very good, did it?
No, this is a lot better. Do you like my little strip on the back?
Oh, Oh yeah, a little bit of duct tape there.
That's a cover the rust up for an MOT.
If they can't see it, they can't fail it.
Yep, that worked.
But yeah, let's look at your new MR2.
Yeah, I like it. You're very jealous of it.
I'm very jealous of it.
I'm a little
Scared.
yeah. I'm glad that it's locked up. I'm sure I'm going to turn up at some point in the shed, and it's just not going to be there. There'll be a little note going, "I owe you one MR2 XX."
Well, you could have mine while I borrow this one. Borrow on a permanent basis. But, you know.
No.
I love my MR2 too much now anyway.
So guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video watching me pick up my brand new MR2. No, Matt, no, Matt, 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 oh Jesus Christ, Matt!